Hi, this is the Philosophical Angle program, and I'm your host, Chris Angle. I'm the author of 4 books on philosophy, one of which is The Philosophical Equations of Economics. These books are available free for viewing at thephilosophicalAngle.com. If you like to contact us, you can make a suggestion, or you can give us an email at contact@thephilosophicalAngle.com, or you can make a comment below. And if you like this broadcast, be sure to hit the like button. The purpose of the Philosophical Angle is to examine the nature of concepts and ideas being used in current media. And we're going to start out with a question that's kind of come up here. Why do the Democrats have a necessary predilection to tax? In other words, they seem to, every time they get in office and get control of the administration, they want to raise taxes. Now, this is not universally true, but it is predominantly true. I mean, there are a couple exceptions, like President Kennedy lowering taxes. I think President Clinton also made such a deal. And so, but in general, they like to raise taxes. And let's explore why. So the first thing we need to do in order to understand this is we need to understand the difference between the left and the right. And somewhere in that explanation, we're going to find out why they have a predilection. They have a desideratum. They have a tendency to raise taxes. So first, when we move back into history and take a look at the origin of political parties, the origin of political thought, we find that all throughout history, it really starts when you go all the way back to the person that rises to the top, that becomes a leader, and all the rest. And so the first division of political parties is the person who rises above, who becomes a leader, who has the most in society, and he would be the king and the queen, and the kings and queens are the haves, and then there are the have-nots, the workers, the serfs, the proletariats, the slaves. And as society grows, the top of the heap, so to speak, the king and queens develop need help in administering their wishes throughout society. And so as society grows, so does the people that help the kings and queens with their wishes. And so they develop a system of nobles, and who they need for their cooperation in order to effectuate their policies. And so you have the haves, which are the kings and queens and their nobles. And as society even grows even further, the government becomes larger, and eventually you get a bureaucratic class. And so these are the haves, along with their facilitators that are needed in order to effectuate their policies. And then you have the have-nots, and the have-nots are again the workers, the serfs, the slaves, etc. And the serfs and the proletariats, their first dictum of life is that they demand that they seek that which is good for them. And this is the first dictum of political behavior. There are 5 dictums, and we'll go into that as this podcast develops. And so the first these individuals of society that come from the proletariats and the slaves, they strive for goodness, as does the kings and queens. They strive for goodness because all life strives for that which is good for it. And so that's why dictum number 1 is universal to both sides of the aisle. And these individuals coming from the serfs and the proletariats, they seek all of life, that which is good for it, and they continually seek that which is good for it. And these individuals also seek, first and foremost, fairness and equality before the law, and so that they may strive equally in society for the betterment of their lives. And they strive for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the essence of being a conservative, which is an individual, allowing individuals in society to strive and seek life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So on the left side, these come from the haves, and they come from the kings and queens and nobles of society and their facilitators, and these two classes of royalty have existed throughout history. The kings and queens and their nobles and their facilitators, and in modern day society, the nobles and associates are replaced with government bureaucrats. And in addition to that, you have corporate management. Also, corporate management is brought into the facilitators, in the facilitator class, which are needed to control the have-nots. And by the way, control is anti-cooperative, and the haves can be controlling because they believe that the nature of the serfs is that they are inherently bad, and that is one of the dictums on the 5 political behavior principles of the have-nots. And the haves believe that the have-nots believe that the haves are inherently not good, and while the have-nots believe that everybody is basically inherently good. So they have a different outlook on individuals in society. The have-nots believe that people are basically good, and the haves believe that people are basically bad. And these so let's get back down here. So these facilitators, which of society, of the government, they want to control the have-nots, and they control them through motivation, and they control them through control, which is negative knowledge plus force. And when I say negative knowledge, I mean the negative knowledge are the rules and regulations and laws of society. And the reason why I say negative knowledge is because it works against the knowledge. In other words, these are all rules and regulations or things that say, no, you can't do this. And so that's and because of that negative there, I call it negative knowledge. And examples and they use motivation, and the example of the motivation is like welfare. So you get free money to do nothing, and the only thing you have to do is vote and give your loyalty to the Democratic, to the left party, to the party of the haves. And the haves will think that they're providing a social network for the have-nots. And this came out of the French Revolution. The haves realized that they can't completely ignore the have-nots, because they rise up if they don't have enough, or they've been downtrodden too much. They rise up and they start cutting off the heads of the haves. So the haves realize that they have to give the have-nots at least a minimum in society, a minimum of a standard wage or a standard reasonable amount in order to be able to live. And that is the basis by which the left lives and has evolved, and all the societies of communism, fascist, socialist, and the kings and queens have that concept of noblesse oblige, which is dictum 4 of our principles of political behavior. But there are some that naturally do not want to be controlled, and they don't want to be a serf anymore, and they want jump out, and they don't want to be slavery, or they don't want to be worker bees, and they want to jump out of the serf serf party, of the serf echelon of society, the very uh, uh, low end of the, and they want to break out, and they want to become successful, and because this, and they do this because it's part of dictum 1. Dictum 1 says that all life wants to do that which is good for it, and in addition wants to continually do that which is good for it. And so they want to break out, and they want to be part, and then when they do so, they make a middle class. And when they do, it's thought and considered by the haves that these non-cooperatives, known as serfs and proletariats, that adhere to individual rights, that these people are basically bad because they're getting out of their control, of being controlled, and so they look upon them as basically bad people, and there's a very little respect for these individuals that come out of the very bottom class and jump into the middle class and try to become haves, and so in the eyes of the haves, these have-nots are basically bad people, and you can see that when certain politicians come up and call those people deplorables. And the negative, so negative knowledge plus force is used to control the have-nots, and that's laws and regulations plus force are used to control the have-nots, and this necessary control of the have-nots means that there will be economic and equal social justice of the have-nots, whereby everybody stays where they are in society, whereby everybody is equal in every way, and taxation is one method to this end. Taxation will keep you in your lower serfdom class. If you make extra and you're taxed, and it's all that extra is taxed away from it, you can't really get out of that class. So the serfs, so that the haves will tax the serfs. It's one way to control them. And so with taxation, you are kept in your appropriate echelon of society, and that's the origin and the raison d'être for the progressive tax system, and it's a way to keep the have-nots from becoming too successful. And so the Dems like to tax. It keeps the proletariat from getting out of control, and it keeps their subjects in their rightful place and not become too powerful. And if the serfs become too powerful and they begin to compete with the facilitator class, this cannot be permitted, and so taxation is one way to keep them down. And if they do happen to get out, even in spite of the progressive taxation, and this is the reason for the progressive taxation, is that as you get wealthier and leave the proletariat class, they want to tax you more so that you can't really join the very upper echelon of society, which is the society of the haves. And but should by some miracle a serf does pop out, does become successful, and he becomes very successful in creating a large company that has great profits, then the leaders of that company will be co-opted into the facilitator class. And this is done through most of the large corporations, especially ones that are very successful, and who and take a look at the ones that these communication media giants, Google, Twitter, Facebook, they are all now fully cooperating with the left and have been doing for several years, and now completely censoring the have-not class of people for their ideas that are pursuant to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so So thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, hit the like button. And we'll see you in the next broadcast. Thank you.